For centuries, fish spawning aggregations have been targeted worldwide. And most fisherfolk did not even talk with researchers or managers until relatively recently. This unsustainable model has contributed to today's fisheries crises. This is the story of a snapper fisherman that wanted to change that model and the legacy he left for the benefit of reef ecosystems and fishing communities. His name is Peter Gladding, and he brought expert fisher's knowledge and a conservation ethos into the design of a landmark marine reserve, the Dry Tortugas in the South Florida Keys.
Well, it's certainly the biggest success story we have in the Keys is that Tortugas Reserve, and Peter was a huge part of that. That was one of the places he fished, and he knew that that was what needed to be protected. A lot of fish spawned there, and it was kind of, there were people like me involved, but I didn't know exactly where the boundaries ought to be drawn. But Peter, 40 years of fishing there, or whatever, he knew, and everyone just sort of deferred to him, and it came out right. It was a success the way it was drawn up, and he's basically the one that did it. He was the most knowledgeable one, and he brought people together, and he just got it done.
Peter left us way too soon in 2003, but his legacy remains. Inspired by his wisdom, vision, and leadership, since 2004, the Gulf and Caribbean Fisheries Institute awards sustainable fishers the Gladding Memorial Award in his memory. There are now 25 GMA winners from 15 countries, making a big difference in their communities and around the region.
Orgullosamente, en el 2010 fui ganadora. Entonces, ahí seguimos en la lucha y humildemente de tratar de hacer lo que hacía este gran señor Peter, ¿verdad? Conservar, porque si nosotros no conservamos y protegemos, no va a haber para mañana, no va a haber para nuestras nuevas generaciones.
Following in Peter's footsteps, these fisher ambassadors have been instrumental in the conservation of spawning aggregations.
We were very successful in finding spawning aggregation site, very successful in lobbying to government officials, putting them in marine protected area. So we start to travel to other countries to help them look for a spawning aggregation site and show them the way to go about getting them into marine protected area.
And the fishermen relate to that. They understand. You don't kill them when they're spawning. And of course, when they land that many fish too, the price goes way down, so they're not getting a whole lot for them anyway. So they're kind of, a lot of them are on board with that.
You have about 14 spawning aggregation sites in Belize, and only 2 of them are not in marine protected area. We have worked very hard to get the government to put all of those spawning aggregation sites in marine protected area, and that was a very big accomplishment for us.
Fishers have a huge role to play in the future of fisheries management.
If you don't get organized, you just lose what you have. There are significant areas of engagement that requires the fisher's involvement that no one else can give, because nobody can feel like the fisher. Nobody else knows what the fisher has to encounter on a day-to-day basis, and nobody else knows what it means to be able to provide for the family the way he does, like the fisher. So who can represent that but the fisher?
As Peter dreamed, charismatic fishermen can lead conservation efforts all over the world, just as the GMA winners are doing in the wider Caribbean.
I want the fishermen of the whole world, and even the Caribbean, to know that whatever we do to the ocean, we're doing it to ourselves. We need to protect the ocean. We need to protect the young juvenile fish. You need to protect the area that they grow, the barn, their hatches, their spawning ground, so we can have the generation to come will able to have fish to eat just like we're having now.
It's good the ocean speaks to a certain potential that seems to be unlimited, both for you and for your community and for your nation. Yeah, responsible sustainable use, yes, because if I don't fish responsibly, I won't have any tomorrow. And I'd love to fish tomorrow.